establishment of a creative arts fund, which is very significant and very important because we know that that is one of the major challenges of the creative arts industry, access to funding. So the establishment of the Creative Arts Fund, which is provided in this law, will enable us set up the fund to support the industry by giving grants and loans to practitioners in the industry to boost whatever activities that they are engaged in. This is a good day for the creative arts industry. We are excited because we know that from next year, 2021, the agency is going to be set up. We will have adequate funding from the budget, from other sources of funding that the board established to take charge of the agency and the fund will try to source funding for. And also there is going to be a levy from the creative arts practitioners, which will also go into this fund to support the activities of the agency. So today we have passed the Creative Arts Industry Bill, as was promised by His Excellency the President. We are expecting that His Excellency the President will assent to the bill before the end of this year to make it law. And from 2021, we'll begin to implement all the provisions of the law. For instance, there is a requirement for all creative arts enterprises to be registered prior to operating their enterprises, to be registered with the agency. This will provide the agency with the required database of information of all the various domains of the creative arts industry.
So you had the, Tourism and Arts Minister, Madam Barbara Otinjisi, announcing that, the arts bill has been passed, and I'm sure you and your panelists would
it's
get
super.
into it.
It's super. But wait, have you guys been following that? We actually have a bill for our sector right about now. You haven't followed, eh? Well, welcome. That's what it is.
I took a break. I dozed off for a minute. I don't know what's going on.
Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
Away from that, George.
Yeah, let's go.
Last week, you hosted the president of the Creative Art Council, Mr. Marco Quaye.
Okay, yes.
And
yes.
amongst, other things, you asked him whether his party, the NPP, was willing to, adopt some of the policies on the art sector enshrined in the manifesto of the NDC. And here was his response.
Yeah.
A plan is not cast in stone.
No, it's not.
And so every good strategist will tell you that, yes, it's a strategy, but you do plus or minus as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Film Village, it's not in any manifesto.
No, it's not.
We are doing insurance for the creative industry. We should launch it in the next few weeks before the end of this year. It's not in the manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that as a people, as we move on, you see is pressing. You feel it is pressing and one needs to take. Why not? Anything and I'm sure that whatever we don't find in our manifesto, the other side is also creative minds that put it together.
Yeah.
And so, we just decided not to put it here.
Yeah.
But if it's in another manifesto, or whether it's CPP or whatever,
and it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Why not?
So you had Marco Quaye there. He says, once it's good, why not? And I also heard you ask him whether he was willing to become the next, Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture. Let's hear him answer that.
The power is in the hands of
the president.
The president of the land, or the president-elect.
Yeah.
I think that I told you that I believe in leadership and followership.
Yeah.
For me, if I am to lead, it is his call. If he wants, he says, this is what I want you to do, I do not have a say.
Mm-hmm.
If he says, I want you to follow this person and get me the result, we'll follow and get the result.
Okay.
That is my orientation. That's how I've been trained.
All right. So he says he believes in what? Leadership and followership.
Yeah.
Whether it comes to him or not.
The shepherd and the flock.
Exactly.
The shepherd and the flock. That's
all right.
Leadership and followership.
Now, away from that, let's talk about musician Shatawale, who, in reacting to a story that trended for days in Nigeria, has asked his colleague artists to, emulate Nigerian musicians. Now, I know you'd be wondering, what story was it?
Tell us.
So this last week, actually, Nigerian musicians Omale and Thames were invited to Uganda to perform at an event called the Big Branch, the Afrobeat, edition. And it was quite a beautiful, successful concert, which saw, both Thames and Omale perform to an excited crowd, George. But unfortunately, both musicians and the audience, failed to observe the COVID-19 protocols, which are to observe social distancing and wear a mask. And to add insult to injury, they actually took photos of themselves with the excited crowd, not wearing or not following the protocols, and posted on social media.
Oh dear.
So the next day, the two musicians were arrested by the Ugandan police force and, for their act. But, a rumor popped up that apparently it was actually some of the Ugandan musicians who reported them.
Oh dear.
And it was because they felt peeved because apparently they've been banned from, performing at events as a way of curbing the virus.
Yeah.
And that obviously had affected, their cash flow.
And
so how do you
revenue.
ban me from performing
And allow somebody
and invite,
else?
other, foreigners to come perform in my own country? So for days, these artists were in police custody. I mean, they were sent to court, but were denied bail until a number of Nigerian musicians, which included the likes of Burna Boy, Davido, and others, collectively protested on social media for their release. And they were released, after all
That's pretty interesting. And what's Shatta Wale
so,
saying?
in reacting to the story, Shatta, posted this, and I'm going to read it. He posted a tweet, actually. He said, if it was Shatta Wale that was arrested in Uganda, like some people in our music industry will try their possible best for them to jail me like 6 years. Ghana Creative Arts should start learning from Nigerians. This is what we call love. So that was what Shatta posted. And, George, this issue about Ghanaian musicians not supporting each other, it's a chorus I've heard so many artists, so many creatives sing from time immemorial. And it looks like it's becoming a hopeless situation. Now, what do you think, George?
Well, it's tricky. The musicians are here. Maybe they can speak for themselves. Let's ask the musicians.
Miss V.
Yeah.
Miss Shasha. Miss V first. No, Miss Shasha first.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'm seeing you.
Well, I think it's just a perception. Because personally, I haven't experienced the hate, I would call it. But what Shatta said actually was right to some extent, because really there is no love. And I say that because I've actually seen a number of people complain in the industry. If you have maybe like Miss V's album is out now and you are currently not doing any project, you're supposed to push it. Just like when Wizkid's video came out, almost all the artists pushed it, and he was like number one all the African countries. So to some extent, he's right. From my personal experience, I haven't experienced it yet. I pray not to. But it's really there, and it's sad.
I see.
Really sad.
Right. Miss V. I used to think that this unity was between women, because once upon a time, people were saying, oh, the women in the industry, they're too small, they aren't together, the boys are rather more, much more. What do you make of this?
I think the boys know how to fake it more. But every time we complain, there is no unity here. And the Ghanaian musicians, but I have Nigerian musician friends, and it's really the same there. It's the same everywhere, in every industry, radio, TV, music. It's really the same everywhere. The support, but you see, it's just like say, Airtel and say MTN, and you can't be shouting about MTN when you are working at Airtel. You can't. You watch Beyonce's page. She doesn't really. It's her it's her company, so she has to push her products.
That's right.
So she can choose. No, it's nice to support. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not by force for an artist to. I'm sure this is really controversial what I'm saying.
No, actually, I don't think it is. I think you're making a salient
it's the
point.
truth,
But the real question is, do you feel there's some level of hate in the industry?
That's what the
and have
hate
you
is
experienced
there.
it before?
There's jealousy there. It's a competition.
Have you experienced it?
Oh, definitely. It's a really big competition, and where there is competition, there's definitely like some, funniness, some negativity. So yeah, but at the end of the day, this is someone's company. They are pushing. They are not supposed to come and be promoting your company on their company page. Do you understand? But it will be nice that they can do that for you. If I watch all these
American superstars, their page, you hardly see anything like that. But they don't complain, you know.
Right.
But when they meet somewhere, they take pictures and they laugh. It's not an issue. But I don't know why it is so bad over here, you know.
Maybe they're not good at faking it here. Because when you said something about the Nigerians fake it, at least when you fake it,
the guys,
boys.
yeah, the guys,
fake it.
yeah. At least when you
The
fake
rivalry
it,
is there, but they
you
try.
fake it real, and it's really obvious that even though you post something, it's at least to some extent 70% from your heart. And also, they are not really controversial in terms of news, hate towards another artist. So you won't really see that, even though they are faking it. It's not really obvious like that. But for Ghana, dear, you're in
I
trouble.
see.
Interesting. Noella, what's next?
Yeah, so let's do international news now. And George, American actor Tom Cruise, man, this week he was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he blew up at workers for breaking COVID-19, rules on the set of his new movie. And in a leaked video, the furious 58-year-old, could be heard, I beg your pardon, in a profanity-laced rant, while filming Mission Impossible 7 at the Warner Bros. Studios. I brought you excerpts of that, rant. Listen.
You're back here in Hollywood making movies right now because of us! Because they believe in us and what we're doing! I'm on the phone with every studio at night! Insurance companies, producers! And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I don't ever want to see it again! Ever! And if you don't do it, you're fired! And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too. And you too. And you. Don't you ever do it again. That's it. No apologies. You tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education. That's what I sleep with every night. And the future of this industry. So I'm sorry. I'm beyond your apologies. I have told you, and now I want it. And if you don't do it, you're out. We are not shutting this movie down! Is it understood? If I see it again, you're gone. And so are you. So you're going to cost him his job. And I see it on the set, you're gone. And you're gone. That's it. Am I clear? Do you understand what I want? Do you understand the responsibility that you have? Because I will deal with your reason. And if you can't be reasonable, and I can't deal with your logic, you're fired. That's it. That is it. I trust you guys to be here. That's it.
All right, so that's Tom Cruise. And I followed, the commentary that came after his rant. And it looks like a lot of people believe he was overreacting. Or what do you think?
I don't think he was overreacting. Look, I have a few friends in the UK who are in the film space. And a lot of them are not even being allowed to go on set at all. And sometimes when you go on set, there are health inspectors and stuff that go around checking and ensuring that everybody is following all the COVID-19 principles to the letter.
Okay.
So if you are not, if you violate it, and he's invested money into the movie and he knows you'll be shut down if inspectors should come around, I think he's got every reason to run. They spend a lot of money on these movies. And Mission Impossible has a certain standard, so you can imagine how much has been invested into it. And they have timelines, they have a date, they have everything. So I don't think he's going to allow somebody's carelessness to shut them down. And again, aside that, there's a health implication. You could put all of us at risk. If the lead actor caught COVID, they would have to stop filming.
That's right.
So, I mean, he had every reason to run.
Well,
you understand?
I guess I agree with you. Let's do some trends before I go. And number one on my trend list is Ahojo Las Vegas. It's actually
Kumerica.
Kumerica. Recently Shatta went to Kumerica to shoot the video of a song he's featured all the Kumerican boys on. So it's out, and so that's why that's trending. Mo Salah is trending. Why is that?
Liverpool played today, and they beat somebody by I think 5 or 6 or something. They just walloped Crystal Palace.
I see. Aston Villa is trending.
Yeah, they
Klopp?
also Klopp is Liverpool. That's the one. They actually scored 7. They beat Crystal Palace by 7 goals. Yeah, by 7 goals.
Oh, I
to
see.
nil.
That's
and,
why You Never Walk Alone is also trending.
Yeah, and I think Salah had a brace in that, in that 7-goal thriller, and that's why Klopp would also be trending because he's the manager for Liverpool. You should follow sports a bit more.
Yeah, I do.
Tomorrow, the greatest team in the world is playing. That's Manchester United.
You wish.
Forget the rest.
Anyway, that'd be all. I wish Uncle Ken was here at this point.
Oh, you should sleep. He's on.
But that'd be all for Showbiz this week, George.
And that's it from Noella Karaniale giving us Showbiz this week. Thank you very much. When we come back from this break, we're going to be listening to music from Miss V and Mishasha, and then we'll get deeper into our conversation because Miss V has a show that she's got to get to. So we're going to make that interview pretty quick so that she can go. Stay on. You're tuned in to Joy. It's Showbiz A to Z.
There are more ways to listen to Joy 99.